Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about File Manager. Okay, so File Manager is a utility on TSO, which allows you to look at data sets, right? So you can see the individual fields. So there's a number of ways you can actually access a data set. Okay, if you just want to have a look at it, the actual contents without formatting, you can do so with File Manager or 3.4, right? If it's a normal sequential file. But File Manager gives you the ability to be able to look at recent files too, depending on whether you have a copybook or not. Okay, irrespective. But we're going to show you uh, how to view the data set using File Manager um, for a sequential file today. Okay, and you use it exactly the same way for any other file. All right, so let's start right here. If you have a look, we are where when we sign on to TSO, we get into the primary option menu. Okay, at this stage, if you look a little further down, and I'm going to use PF8, you will notice that File Manager is down there. All right. And I need to use an option F. Okay, so let's use that option F. Get my cursor out of the way. Okay, I'm going to use option F, and that'll take us to File Manager. Okay, so you see that. So once we're in File Manager, you have a number of options over here. So if we just want to look at a data set, we're going to use the View option, all right? And the View option is a 1. So let's go and use 1. Now, the first thing you have here is, remember you're in the view option. The first thing you have that you need to do is identify the file that you want. So how would you be able to pick up the file that you want? The one way would be to go into 3.4 and pick up the file and copy that and then paste it in here. But I know that this is the file that I'm looking for because I just copied it because I want to do some editing on it and to show you how to actually edit the file. All right. So this is the file, the data set. And I've also, now assuming I did not have a copybook, okay? So I'm going to remove all this here. And then over here, do you see where the options are? I want to say there's no copybook, so I'm going to enter 3 there for say none. All right, that's what the 3 is there for. All the rest can be left as default. All right. If I press enter now, all right, the actual data set comes up. All right. It tells you what the length is of the data set, how big it is, the actual record, and each record contains 120 characters. All right. Now, to go to the right of it, I press PF11, and you notice if I press PF11 again, nothing actually happens because that is the maximum number of characters per record. Okay. Now, each one of these is a record. All right. And if you notice that we have quite a few, how many do we have? We have 50 records. Okay. So I'm going to use PF10 again to go back. And PF10 should take us back. And we back again at column 1. Okay. So I'm going to show you now how to edit this file. Okay, so before I do that, PF8 will take you to the bottom of the file. So in other words, you will be able to scroll it. And this scroll indicator has to be CSR. So assuming you want to go to line 11, okay, and then press PF8, you notice what happens. It takes you to the line 11. But that is only if you have CSR in your scroll option over there. All right. Okay, good. So we had a look at how to view the file. This gives us a lot of information. There's a lot of content here, but we don't know what details they are. We don't know. We see student 23. What is that? So let's go and have a look. What we can do is I press PF3 and I put in the actual copybook. Now the copybook I know is in my CBL library and it's called StudRec. That's the member name for my copybook. But now because I'm using that, and if I do not change the process option over here, let's see what happens. It's going to do exactly what we did previously. It ignored the copybook that I used. If I press PF3 again, but this time I change it to a 1 to say, use the copybook above. Now you will notice that there is a difference. It's working. Okay, see that X over there? It's doing a lot of work. And you notice what it's done. It's taken the copybook details and it's broken up the data according to the copybook details that we've supplied. So now we know that class 1 name is TSO and the grade date is that date over there. This is the first names and that is the user ID. And if I press PF11, you're going to the right, and that's class 2, and then class 3, and then percentage for class 3. Okay, so you can see the whole data set, PF8 to scroll down to the bottom, PF7 to come back up again. All right, so now you can see how to actually list out a data set using File Manager. But what if we want to change or modify this file? All right, so let's go ahead and look at that next. I'll press PF3 and PF3 again one more time until I get into the primary options menu for File Manager. And right here, you notice that I have a view option, which we used previously. We're now going to use the edit option. Edit means you can now change it. That's what edit means. So we can go to 2, I beg your pardon, on the top, 2, and press enter. And you notice the defaults that were used previously still remains. It's sticky. It stays there until you change it again. All right. Now we're going to use option 1 again to say, yes, we want to use the same copybook. And if I press enter now, we're going to get the same details, right? There's no difference except for the editing option. All right, so you see we got the same thing. However, this will allow you to be able to change anything. Assuming we want to change TSO to XXX, you notice what I did? I went to that particular line 9 and I changed that to XX. And all I do is press enter, okay? Now internally, File Manager is keeping count as to how many records are being changed. So if I change that to 28, for example, right there at the end, okay? It's still the same record, right? Remember, record 9. Now let's go and change record 12, and I want to change that to 12A and make that first name 12A. And I want to make this YYY. All right, that's good enough. Okay. Now I've changed 2 records, correct? And that's how you do it. And you can change any information. I want to change line 10 and give it a valid percentage. Let's say I'll give it 50%. All right, change it. How many records have we changed? We've changed line 9, we've changed record 10, and we've changed record 12. Now, if I press PF3 to say accept the changes that I've made, and if I press PF3 now, it would tell us right there that 3 records were updated. All right, so that's how you can change a data set in File Manager. Now you can do the same thing for VSAM files, and similarly for sequential files too. And File Manager is used a lot, especially when you would like to test a file, or you want to view a file, now you want to check your results. So File Manager is a very useful tool to use. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you in the next video.